Alright guys, we're back! Gosh, that was embarrassing. I promise to be more careful from now on. Since the residential quarters are closed for now, I've rerouted the teleporter to allow travel between floors instead. Hopefully it proves useful in the time. Alright, for the time being. A shame you couldn't see it though. You really would have liked it. Yay. There we go. All's fail that ends fail. It may not seem like it, but we've been planning for this far longer than I'd care to admit. Each time we woke up, we'd have long discussions about how to save as many as we can. Felt like everyone had an opinion on this or that, but the one thing we agreed on was that the people of Aetheris wouldn't take action to save themselves until it was far too late. That's why we were striving to make the moon a vibrant, magical place they'd hop to at the chance to visit, rather than waiting at the flames of oblivion to get them off their trails and force them into accept our invitation. The residential quarters may not be up to the necessary standards just yet, but there are plenty of other places worth seeing. You've already had a look at the Curatorium, but wait until you see what's waiting for you at the east end of the borough. Follow me. Alright. Ah, the lunar whale. Perfect. How very fitting. Growing way. Did you hear it? Through this story is the greatest ends veil. It was named as such because it's the veil to end all veils. The most beautiful forest you'll ever see. We understand that people of Aetheris enjoy taking leisurely walks through natural spaces and the like, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. How about we start with a nice stroll to the fountain? This way. Chocobo! Reading way, grinding way, moping way. Things like moping way are like, wait, if their names are derived from like the things they're supposed to be, like that match their jobs as best as they can. What the fuck is his job if the thing he came up with is moping way? Vector. There. Like Vector's name is actually Vector Way. So, what did you think of the forest? It's positively pleasant. Isn't it positively pleasant? Simply sublime? I couldn't see the forest or the trees. I didn't see any. Wait, you don't mean those crystals out there? Tis as transcendent as burying your face in a chocobo's plumage and taking a good long whiff. You're pulling my tail! You're in the forest right now! Building this place was a challenge, let me tell you. Since we were born here, we've never seen trees in person before, let alone a forest. The information sent by our collaborators was quite enlightening, but after much deliberation we decided to use crystalline constructs in place of living trees. And thanks to our atmospheric circulation system, this place produces air as clean as you'd find in a forest of Aetheris. The fountain behind us, powered by a rather large crystal, adorning the top, plays a vital role in supplying us with fresh water. Much time and effort was spent making the most of its most spherical spheres, and I dare say the unparalleled roundness speaks for itself. I enjoy nothing more than a nice long stretch and a spot of relaxation whenever I come up here. You look like you could do with a stretch yourself. That's the spirit. I feel more relaxed simply watching you. A sight worth the many years spent building this place. There's not too much to ask. It's always been a dream of mine to take a walk through the forest with someone from Atheris. Could we maybe? You will? Oh, be still, my quivering whiskers. Let's do this. Growing way. Alright, what do you got to say, dude? I was thinking, Miro, that I could be more helpful to you by teaching you a little about the moon and what it is we do. When we were first created, the moon's sole purpose was to hold Zodiac, and there was absolutely nothing to be found here. Eventually, Hydaelyn gave us our first task: furnish the moon with a propulsion system capable of facilitating travel to other stars. It sounds impressive, and I suppose in some respects it is, but it was only possible thanks to all the knowledge Hydaelyn shared with us. We also had a lot of time to get it done, 6,000 years give or take. But anyway, let's keep going. This may come as a surprise, but we didn't begin building the habitable areas until after the propulsion systems were ready. Considering how long it took, I wish we'd started sooner. Who would have thought we'd need 4,000 years to make all this? It certainly wasn't work you dare rush either. We had to create an infrastructure and countless supporting systems, some of which wouldn't be operational until hundreds of years later. And then there was the brief period where our productivity came to a screeching halt, when that bizarre red satellite was sent up from Atheris. The Allegan's mischief, I think. We thought maybe some new nefarious actor was colluding with Zodiac. All we could do was stand by and brace ourselves for the worst. I can't tell you how relieved we were when Hydaelyn informed us of its destruction. Oh yes, there was much joyous humming that day. Ask if you can taste the rainbow crystal. What? No, I'm not sure what it is you do with crystals on Atheris, but we don't eat them, and certainly not this one. It's possessed of all 6 elements. Wind, lightning, fire, earth, ice, and water. We use crystals like these to maintain the moon's elemental equilibrium. It's worth mentioning, though, that because Hydaelyn's influence, being the embodiment of tranquility and stasis and all, manipulating the elements here is different than it might be on Atheris. A conjuring of fire would sooner dry your clothes than singe them, for example. Put simply, the etheric conditions are ill-suited to growth, which is why the surface is mostly barren. Of course, this was all necessary to keep the raging energies of the Zodiac in check. Yeah, that was the crystal there that we asked to lick. Say, do you notice anything peculiar about the treetops? I mean, apart from the fact that they're massive crystals and not trees? I'll give you a hint. It's the golden rings emanating from the glowing spheres. Along with the device fixed near the ceiling, they fulfill a role similar to our sun, and do so better even. The sun and similar celestial objects in the Great Expanse radiate energy that is harmful to your bodies. These rings shield you from that energy while allowing you to bathe in the perfect amount of sunlight, or rather, a close approximation to it. Pretty impressive, wouldn't you say? Oh, and if you look closely, you'll see different types of trees have ever so slightly different curvature. Yes, indeed, this forest truly is great. Wait, was that the... Oh, it was the one I looked up before. Okay. Alright. There was something else I wanted to tell you about. Oh right, the propulsion system and habitat facilities were completed around 2,000 years ago, and with that, the most important features were fit for purpose. Which was all well and good, except we knew absolutely nothing about the present-day people of Atheris. Why not go in and visit Atheris yourself, you might ask? Strictly forbidden. Were our technology or knowledge of the moon's true purpose exploited for evil ends, the results could be disastrous. Then there were a few more rejoinings, and it became increasingly difficult to converse with Hydaelyn. Fearful we might lose the ability to communicate with her altogether, we beseeched her to find people on Atheris we could trust to help. We were quite fortunate everything worked out as it did. With the exception of routine inspections and maintenance, we remained asleep and waited, hopeful Heidelin would find someone who would help us. Eventually, she did, and though her power was waning, we were able to speak to them directly for a short while. We shared with them everything we could, including our knowledge of the heavens and a means to travel here to the moon. They certainly didn't waste any time with what we taught them. No more than a few years after that, our collaborators found a means to convey messages and supplies to us from down below. With all the letters, books, and other resources they sent, we learned enough to start making more meaningful changes to the moon. And now you're here, hopefully enjoying yourself as much as I am. I knew you would like the greatness, Ensville. I knew it. Thank you again for coming here, by the way. I know it was just a walk through the forest, but it meant a lot to me. There you are. I take it you've already received the grand tour. A shame we missed it. Growing Way, I've been looking all over for you. Oh, is this about the teleporter to the residential area? No, never mind that. We have more pressing matters at hand. I will be calling an emergency meeting shortly, and your attendance is required. Really? I can't imagine why you need me there, but if you insist. We won't be away long, so you are all more than welcome to continue looking about the barrow. Now, come along, Growing Way. Before we arrived, you seemed to be in the midst of a rousing conversation with your guide. Did you learn anything of import? They've spent 12,000 years preparing for this? With the appointed hour fast approaching, I certainly understand their restlessness, but still. It remains to be seen that if the people can be persuaded to evacuate when there are yet no signs of the final days. What's more, the technology of this place defies imagination. I doubt there are many who would readily come to terms with living in such surroundings. Whoever these collaborators are, unless they are possessed of the world's most charming personalities, or a means to forcibly evacuate the people, they will meet with a great deal of resistance. Indeed, even if faced with annihilation, the decision to forsake all one knows cannot be made lightly. Forgive me, friends, but I must beg your leave. There is another matter which just begs for mine attention. Of course, we can accompany you if you like. Nay, that will not be necessary, if you will excuse me. PMX smells like bakies. 'Tis clear now that the difficult decisions lie ahead of us. Preparations for the evacuation of Atheris is indeed crucial, but I am not yet willing to forsake our world and its reflections. And I trust I'm not alone in my reticence. I'm gonna get boots. Back to old tricks. Did Ariandre seem strange to you? More so than usual, I mean. I know he has a penchant for keeping his own counsel, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. Would you go and see if he's alright? Estelle and I will remain here and see what we can learn about the final days. If you hurry up, maybe perhaps you can catch up to him. Actually, might be backstairs to do this. Now we can just teleport over there. Arianje appears to be heading towards the entrance to Bestaway's burrow. We're making our way out of there, guys. halfway to level 88 already. Insane. It's funny because I'm pretty sure these quests are like level 84-ish, your take. Yeah, 84. Oh shit, I ran right by him. Alright. Alright. Urianger ventures off into the Mare Lamentorium for reasons unknown. You must tread carefully, or else he might sense your presence. Now we get to follow Urianger. Like I said, they really like this mechanic as well. Don't worry, Carbuncle's not in his view. He's running. Carbuncle managed to get out of the way just in time. Don't run, you bitch. I have 28 seconds until I can sprint again.
Thine arrival is timely as ever. Thou didst chance to overhear my conversation with Livingway, I presume? 'Twas not mine intent to move in shadow. Nevertheless, I have been asked to do that and more yet again. Is it so plain that these strangers could intuit it at a glance? My capacity for silence and secrecy and duplicity? When Grahatir did contrive to deliver the first at the price of his own life, I was complicit in the scheme. A sacrifice averted for a mercy. Would that I could say the same for Minfilia. One life for one world. And by that bloody bargain brokered by my hand were the scions robbed of a dear comrade, and Flamine her beloved daughter. Two souls, whose selflessness was beyond measure, whose resolve was unshakable. They would not be moved even had I thought to protest. But protest I did not. Far from it. I pushed them forward. No effort did I make to seek out alternatives, ones that would not demand such terrible costs. That resignation weigheth heavy on my mind, as does the memory of another lost to mine inaction. Dearest Moonbringer, who did face death unflinching, that we might secure a means to bring low the Ascians. In her hour of need, I did naught. Dutiful disciple of Louisoix, ever looking to the greater good. Had I shut mine eyes and bid her live instead, mayhap she would be with us today. Selfish wants, born of everlasting regrets. Most days I put them from my mind, but could think of naught else when asked to swallow the same bitter draught. Subterfuge and sacrifice. Mayhap the right moral choice, but one I regard with great trepidation. The calamity of Amarot was a tragedy beyond reckoning, one which must never again come to pass. Thus must we struggle, haunted by ghosts of those we have lost, clinging to those we pray we can yet save. But what of those we cannot? How do we make peace with the dreadful algebra of necessity?
Sometimes there's no right answer. Have faith in yourself and your decisions. Take heart and protect well those you can. Would that we had time to weigh the costs.
Sage counsel indeed. I see. Wisdom as befits a great worm. Curious that he should think thee in need of such encouragement. Strange. Scarcely can I remember when last we spoke alone, and so candidly. I thank thee. For all my supposed skill with words, I find it difficult to express such private thoughts. As for the Lopporits proposition, I will take time and consider how to respond. 'Twould be to our mutual benefit if we could converse more openly with our aspiring caretakers. A concern I should be glad to address on the Scion's behalf. To dispense with all pretense and bare one's heart to another is a frightening thing indeed. But we cannot move forward ere we take that bold first step. A lesson I have learned many times before, and today.
What are they saying? Curse these ears! I've had bugger all! No matter. We've got our plans.
What are those Lopporits up to? Vector, only you can tell us. In truth, my reason for traveling hither was to effect a plan of mine own. A plan which may pave the way forward for us all. May, I say, for there's no guarantee of success. 'Tis the reason I set out alone. That failure, should it come, would be mine to bear alone. Mira? Would be remiss of me to refuse thy amity, so I ask, wouldst thou join me in mine endeavor? We get new shoes too. Hang on, I'm gonna get a picture of this cat being weird again. She's dabbing over there. Alright, let's try putting these boots on. It's almost certainly better than what we had, because I think these are 525s. Yeah. There we go. Let's look at these. Ugh, these pants are awful. I hate them. Everything about this outfit is terrible. Anyway. Setting things straight. I thank thee for accompanying me. 'Tis a simple plan, in truth. We shall not be long away from Bestoway's burrow. Difficult decisions must needs be made in the coming days, but I nevertheless believe we are all of one mind in our desire to save the people with theirs. To make clear our resolve to the Lopporits, I would offer them a gift, but its making doth require a most singular ingredient. Hamburgers? I'm fairly certain they would appreciate hamburgers. An abundance of spongoi. Excellent. I chanced to spy this aggregation when crossing Zodiac's erstwhile prison. Using a spell taught to me by the Numo, I believe these shall suffice for the gift I would fashion. The magic requireth considerable concentration, however. Might I prevail upon thee to stand watch whilst I perform the incantation? Yeah, sure, I'll go fight these things. Look your aim, baby! There's another one. We didn't need Phoenix for that, but... No. Phoenix is gone and Carbuncle returns. Surveying the nearby area, you see no sign of potential threats. This would be a good opportunity to see how Ariange is faring. Ariange remains fixated on his work. There. 'Tis done. A magic ink, every ounce as efficacious as that crafted by the Numo. Rare is the occasion I would conjure mine own, but is nevertheless a most useful skill. The resulting product is admittedly possessed of no preternatural properties, but its hue is one of mine own choosing, which I pray the Lopporits will appreciate. Miro, Uriange! Oh, thank goodness. I thought you had been eaten, or perhaps fallen into a crater. Ishtola has been looking all over for you, Miro. She says she needs to speak to you about something most urgent, dire even. She also quite clear that she wishes to speak with Miro alone, which means I'm afraid you must stay behind her, Ajay. But worry not, it all just so happens we need your help with an errand. Delivering a package from the Watcher's Palace to Bestoway's Burrow. It's quite large and heavy, and perhaps even too heavy for we poor Lopporits. We would be ever so grateful if you could lend us a hand. Well, I suppose I should be going then. How about an extra pair of hands before I go meet with Ishtola? That's convenient. Suspiciously convenient. Are you insinuating that I would betray the trust of Heidelin's chosen? Or worse, do anything to risk getting on Ishtola's bad side? She's clearly not one to be crossed, nor made to wait. Now, off with you. Worry not, Miro. I shan't be long. Vector, would you like to get on Ishtola's bad side? What about her bad side? Alright, we'll make our way over to Ishtola, and then we will take our last break for today, and then go on for the last 30 minutes of today's stream. We started off strong, and then we kind of slowed down in the latter part of the stream, but that's okay. We got to experience Bestaway's Burrow, which is honestly awesome. Mini cat. Teeny tiny kitty, pretty. Mini cat. They do have a tendency to do a high point, then a ton of world building, then another high point or two. Yeah. It was really bad in Donjo because the high points were great, but then the low points were so low. Like, even I felt like, okay. Oh, Miro, we thought you would be away for far longer. Oh shit, I was gonna go on break. Oops. A dire emergency? I said no such thing. But as you're here, I could use your assistance with one small matter. Running Way, a companion of Growing Ways, apparently has much to tell us of the final days. Problem is, however, is that he's determined to live up to his name, refusing to stay still long enough for us to hold a conversation. Is there anywhere he's likely to stop and rest? Or perhaps there's a way to slow him down? Well, what's the rush? I was thinking we should wait here, maybe enjoy a cold mug of carrot juice and... No? Well, if it's really that important, you can try using these balls of moose flesh, not to be confused with the other thing. Running Way's other notable feature is his incessant chatter, so you'll have no trouble finding him in a crowd, and when you do, try lobbing these balls at him. Crude, but if it proves effective, he was here in the Greatest Ensvale when I last saw him. Let's split up and find him. Alright, we're gonna take a break, guys, and then we will come back to throw our balls at... That's Farrison. Alright, give me a sec, guys. We'll be right back.